We are working on growing this channel to 6,000 subscribers, at which point I'm giving away this 3-pack blister of Evolving Skies along with 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. All you got to do is be a part of the channel. So please consider taking those steps and like the video today, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. But make sure you are officially entered to win. Again, the thing that starts all of this here is once we reach 6,000 subscribers. So if you're doing that, you're one step closer. But I want to make sure you're entered. So go over to this video here and leave an additional like and comment there. That's where I'm going to be pulling the winners from when the time comes. Today is our Sunday slip. Let's look at prices going down. Lots of stuff going down, actually, which is kind of good. And we're going to be taking a look a little bit more heavily leaning into the Black Bolt White Flare because we're just following that initial release and then the FOMO hype and, you know, the prices come down, following what we would call normal trends, which I think is beautiful. But before we get into all that, actually, I wanted to start with a couple of the more famous cards here of recent, I'd still call them modern Pokemon cards, and we're only looking at single cards, no single product today. Umbreon VMAX alternate art out of Evolving Skies. You could be pulling one in here for all I know. I have no idea. This is brand new from the original print run, the first print run, not the reprints, nothing like that. Picked that up when it was first released. And I've been holding on to it ever since, coming out of my collection, going out to one of you. So there could be an Umbreon VMAX in there. And if you do decide to open it, which I don't think is the right way to go, and you pull it, do not ever tell me because I don't want to know that. That'll ruin my day and probably a lot more. But this one, even though it's coming down in price, and pretty significant actually, looking at just the past few months here, the past 3 months, we were at almost $1,700 3 months ago, and now we're down to $1,366. Let's look at actual sales. Yeah, $1,366. Okay, and still declining, which tells you a few things. One, when there's a bubble, everything swells. When things are on hype, it all goes up. You know, all ships rise in a rising tide, right? So it's the same kind of thing in the Pokemon hobby. Everything will kind of move together relative to one another. The bigger ones will have bigger moves up and then coming back down to recover a little bit. I'm not saying, hey, it's only $1,300, go grab it. That's an insane price. I can't swing that on a card like this. But understand that it's not indefinite, that things just go up and up and up forever. Or do they plateau there forever? I think it was last week, maybe the week before, we looked at the Charizard from the base set, Unlimited, the regular holo, not shadowless, not first edition, but the regular holo, which is still darn rare and in a good condition. It's been sitting around $400 for quite some time. That's it. And it's been there before, and it'll probably go down and then it'll go back up to that again. It seems like that might be its plateau. Maybe another 5 years we'll see that tick up to 450 as its new height of plateau. And it'll be very gradual changes because with enough time, things just level off. They don't always go up forever indefinitely. Something to think about when you're looking at this, as I do on a weekly basis, analyzing it and moving to the most recent Umbreon EX here out of Prismatic Evolutions. Similar story, just 3 months ago it was $1,328, which was significantly down from, you know, when this thing first came out in those crazy ranges, almost $2,000, and now $957 actually sold. So that's pretty good to see it coming down, not just sub 1,000, but actually getting even below 900 when you look at that lowest listing right now at 870. I know that's a lot. That is a ton of money. But when we think about the fact that this was a $1,700 card, that's a big deal to be coming down so far. Lily's Clefairy, just out of more recent set. I know we've had Black Bolt, White Flare, Destined Rivals, but Journey Together, the Chase card, not too crazy. This is an obtainable set for a lot of people, $128, and it's been on the decline for quite some time, and we're sitting there at $127 right now for this one. Moving on to this one, the Eevee Promo, the exclusive one from the Pokemon Center version of the Elite Trainer box for Prismatic Evolutions. This one wasn't a surprise, but kind of a little bit. Actually, it has been a bit of a surprise how far it's come down. We got down as far as $50. It came up a little bit here, but it's still at that $52 price. I mean, it's been on the decline for quite some time. This was pushing 100 and something, 150 6 months ago, not even. 5 months ago, crazy. But those reprints helped a lot. And then they did it again, and that helped a lot. I don't know if it was reprints or re-releasing it, but helping in the queue and releasing these things a little bit more staggered and getting more product out there, it always helps drive the price down. And that's just a signal to the larger hobby, to Pokemon, to say, if you pump in more product to satisfy the market, then people can get this stuff, the price can come down, it can be a little bit more reasonable all around. And something like this, Pokemon Center exclusive, yeah, eventually it'll go back up again, and I don't know if it'll reach 150, but I mean, this will climb back up to a $70, $80 card, maybe 100 even someday, but it takes time, and the market's always moving. So right now, $52.50, not a horrible pickup for that particular Pokemon Center stamped promo. Zechrome EX out of Black Bolt. Here we go to the most recent stuff. Just a big plummet, and then, oops, did we overdo it? And now we're still in this decline. So you can look at the graph here and take a look at how things are flowing, but it's still really early on this card, but sitting around $468, $420 on a low listing there, $430 for the Reshiram EX here, and we still have that decline looking a little bit sharper on the graph for this one here. Victini out of White Flare, and I want to throw the distinction. These are the same card, but they're not because they're unique to the set. Victini out of White Flare is at $445. And it's been really hard to get any sales going on TCG Player because it's a lot of money on a new set, new card to be putting out there. You want to check condition. Other sales markets are going to be a little bit easier to work on that. Once you get into these crazy prices, they just don't sell as frequently. But $445 for the White Flare version compared to the Black Bolt, which has actually gone up and is still under that price, $430. So if you don't care, they're the same card except where they fit in the set. This one will have the Black Bolt labeling for that set, and it's 171 out of the 86 versus 172 in White Flare, and say White Flare for out of the 86. So interesting that little difference. I wish they would have just lined it up so it was indiscriminate and forget the set, just have it be the BWR rarity or something, and that way it would be interchangeable. So a little interesting how they did that, where it's the same card in both sets but kind of different. Actually they're the same. It's hard to go through it. Last couple of cards here, the Zechrome EX out of Black Bolt here, the SIR that we have here, probably one of the cooler cards here. Not crazy on the price compared to what we've seen in recent sets, $222, even $204 at a lower listing for it. And then the counterpart White Flare, Reshiram EX, under $200 at $180 there, even though market's saying it's a little bit higher than that, but the listings are showing otherwise. So not horrible. Oh, I get it. We're looking at higher price stuff here, but it's just a good signal to where the hobby might be at, where things are going, and interesting to kind of pull that and set it aside for another week review of prices going down. Don't forget about that giveaway. Be a part of it and be a part of the channel. Please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel. I have that info in the beginning of the video exactly explaining what you need to do for your chance to win on that once we reach 6,000 subscribers. But remember, I do post 7 days a week, and with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.